Okay, this is part two of a story with the same characters, Asher and Tabitha, and they go to the home of friends of theirs, Nathaniel and Mara. The storm had passed, leaving the Galilee smelling of wet earth and blossoming mustard seed. The place where the storm had washed away homes, Asher and Tabitha's home, the water had receded, but the memories of the flood remained. And it was a defining marker of their own lives, spiritually speaking as well. As the sun turned Capernaum's limestone into glowing amber, the couple headed to the home of their friends Nathaniel and Mara. Nathaniel was a potter known for the strength of his vessels. Mara was the heart of their home. Both had stood on the slope of that day when the teacher spoke about foundations on the rock or on the sand. Inside their home, the scent of olive oil, dried herbs filled the room. Around a table of dark wood, they broke bread and spoke of the storms that had recently shattered the city's peace. It was as if the city were being judged. I saw homes built on the river, sand melting like wax. Those words about the rock, they haunt me. Asher nodded. The water never crossed our threshold, but the only reason we stood was because of what we were doing, applying in our lives. Not the house itself, but what we were standing on, the Word of God. Every day is a new decision to take a stone of Jesus' teachings, forgiveness, truth, faith, believing God, and build it into our lives or into our foundations. Tabitha added, it's sometimes not easy. Mara's expression turned serious. The storms come to everyone. I used to think righteousness was a cloak to guarantee you'll have no trials. But Jesus said the rain and the floods will beat upon both homes. But the doer gets battered just as hard as the hearer, but the storm doesn't ask who you are. We must stay awake, Asher agreed. A soldier who believes his armor is indestructible becomes lazy. The rock doesn't prevent the storm, the rock allows you to survive it. And that's what Jesus' teachings do. They bring you out on top into victory. Thousands were on that slope, Tabitha recalled, nodding, crying, agreeing. But the Master didn't say, "He who hears my sayings and likes them." He said, "Whoever hears and does them." Nathaniel gestured to his workshop where unfired pots stood. "Those vessels look beautiful, but if I don't fire them in the kiln, they are just dried mud. At the first sign of water, they dissolve. That is the difference. The hearer has the right doctrines, but has never been fired in the kiln of obedience or being a doer of the word." "I have a story," Mara whispered. Our neighbors, Simon's family and ours, had not spoken in years. I had nursed bitterness for six seasons. Building a wall I thought made me strong. But when the Master spoke of loving enemies, it was like an earthquake in my heart. The rock I had was my own pride. I went to their doorway trembling. I told Simon's wife, the bitterness has melted. I'm building a new kind of life now. She wept for an hour. Our relationship is still beginning, but it isn't built on the sand of anger anymore. It's built on forgiveness. Nathaniel sighed. For years I made secret deals to mark flawed pots as seconds to help a merchant avoid taxes. I thought it was wise, but the teacher spoke of truth, and he said, let your yes be yes. That loophole was a wide road I was walking. I ended the deal and lost my best contract. Powerful men have called me a fool. It made us poor for months, but when the economic ruin of the storm hit and others were scrambling to cover their lies, I had nothing to hide. My house had no false floors, or what I was building my life on, you understand. Late into the night as they prepared to leave, Asher stood on the threshold. The Master didn't just give a sermon, he gave us a blueprint. To follow him is to enter the kiln of obedience daily. Stay sober, Nathaniel added. The next storm might be persecution or the slow wind of comfort. We must always stay watchful. Asher and Tabitha walked home under the stars, the perimeters of Jesus' teaching, forgiveness, truth, faith, love, and mercy, felt like a place of safety. Within those bounds they found the true freedom, the life that the storm cannot touch. They opened the door to their home, building every day on a yes to the sayings of Christ.